Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the next normal. I'm your host, Sister Jenna. We're broadcasting live from the beautiful Brahma Kumaris Meditation Museum. Today we have a live audience. There is even Thor in the room. I looked at this brother this morning as I was conducting the meditation, and as I looked at his soul across the room, I said, does that young man know how powerful he is? And it's because of the innocence, perhaps. He's so innocent, he has no idea of his strengths yet. You know, between the ages of 13 to 25, it is such a challenging period for our lives. We don't know who we are. Have you noticed? We're like building our identity between 13 and 25. And a return to innocence is one of the stages we reach when we get to about 60. 60 or 70, we're feeling a need to get back to the days of innocence. Let's define innocence. Innocence comes in a variety of ways, but we instantly turn to the image of a baby. When you hear innocence, what do you feel? A child, a baby. There's a subtle energy and aura around the child or the baby. You feel like with this innocence, you don't want to corrupt it. It's so valuable. It's like so pristine. It's so pure. It doesn't have hate. It doesn't have fear. It doesn't have ego. It doesn't have disheartenment. It doesn't have depression. It doesn't have comparison. It doesn't have criticism or jealousy. It's innocent. There's a title that they call God the Lord of Innocence, that whether you are good or naughty, you come to God, God will still give you love and power. That's innocence. Innocence is such a state of your dignity and purity as a person that even you're aware of other people's limitation as a person, it doesn't affect you. You're still just cognizant of that's their stuff, that's their to do with God, that's not my work. My work is to be able to stay evolved and elevated and to help you to be that way. Now, let's break it down today. The world is not very innocent, right, Thor? Everyone's after you for something. Everybody wants something from you, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Please understand, I'm not saying that. We all need each other. We all need each other to give and take, to share, to evolve, to fight, to cry, to love. But one of the things that we're realizing that on the journey over time, because we're in our body, we allow our consciousness to be so attached to the body, the title, the name, the role, the religion, the part that you're playing, that we eventually develop attachment, lust, greed, ego, anger. And those vibrations take away our innocence. You did hear me right. You know it. Algae, anger, lust, greed, attachment, ego. It takes the innocence. It allows the innocence that is there to either get suppressed or merged in your personality or forgotten. Because now we're becoming more masterful in behaving through our personality with the influence of algae. We manipulate. We're trying to get something from someone before we give, and that's the age of a lack of innocence. And you look at the world today, everybody has a motive to take something from you and to give very little back. In the advanced class today in the Murli, there is a saying that was very striking for me, and it has to do with the taking of that innocence, you know, where you come onto this path of life, but then you get so trapped into your body that you begin to see differences of human beings And in the teachings today, it said you've got to break the attachment to your own body in order for you to feel God and to feel your real self. If you've ever lived with a parent or a relative with dementia or Alzheimer's, you will observe they don't remember the pain or the struggles or the suffering they've been through. At least with my mother, she didn't remember any of her health issues. She had become so innocent and so pure, and also quite powerful when she grabbed you. It was like she had returned to her state of innocence, and it created a fragrance inside of the center. Everywhere you went, there was this fragrance that there was an angel in the room. There are different ways we can return to innocence. We reach a tipping point of becoming so limited, so negative, what we might call very impure, that the cup of my impurity has runneth over. I can't get any further down or decayed. Then the soul has this little crescent of hope in the personality. It's like God never disappears from you. And that crescent of hope grabs you back, and with study, perseverance, commitment, consistency, you grow back the fullness of your spirit and you return to your innocence. That's one. There's a second way that you return to your innocence. It's to be in the company of good people, pure-minded people. I know they're rare, but they are out there. I know many. I tell you, I'm blessed to knowing some of the purest and nicest people on the planet, but that's because I'm working on myself to be that I attract people like that. So you have to recognize the connection that your own level of energy has in terms of the environment that revolves around you too. So you might end up in the company of evolved people or intentional people, or really sincere people, good-hearted people. That will assist you to return to your space of innocence. You might recognize situations and circumstances in the world that are so vicious, and you are given an opportunity. What side of history do you wish to serve? That which is constructing and building a better society, or that which isn't? So when I view atrocities, whether it's a genocide, Holocaust, whether it's somebody abusing a child or trafficking a child, or if there's famine or poverty or violence, there's something within me that feels so hurt by the lack of innocence in people's behavior that it pulls me into my place of innocence as a protection. And I feel the need to heighten and to enhance my vibrations of innocence so it will touch the one that has lacked innocence in their nature. Because obviously, if somebody told that soul, you can't hurt a child. And just to think about the mindset of a person who traffics a child, just for example, the depth of lack of innocence in that soul, that it would do that onto another in that state. That even though their conscience might tell them this is wrong, they reach a point that they just turn it off. But in their final moments, on their way back up to source, they will see every act that they have done. And that's the reckoning for that soul. When we return to our innocence, we think about the well-being of another person's feelings before we speak. When we are returning to our innocence, we think about the well-being of another soul based on my thinking. Example, Have you ever walked into a room and the whole room was either gossiping about you or one or two people were just having a thing about you? And they didn't say anything when you walked in, but the vibration of their thoughts, you could feel it, right? If you walk into a church, it has a particular vibration because everybody who walks into the church is going in that this temple should help them to remove their suffering. And their praying to God will help them to remove their suffering. If you walk into a nightclub, it has a different vibration. In there, people want to remove their suffering, but they do it with alcohol, smoking, drinking, drugs, and party and music. They also want something, but it's a thought vibration. Two different entities. People want happiness and freedom from their suffering. One chooses a way of introspection, the other chooses a way of extroversion. You see, return of innocence is an internal affair, though. It is connected to your conscience, and what your heart deeply feels is the best choice to make in your life. So here's my mantra for you before we go into meditation. A practice to help you to return to a state of innocence. What does love want me to do? I know I've said it a lot of times, but every time you ask your own heart, what does love want me to do? You will always come up with an innocent response. That which takes you to your truth of your essence and who you are. We are in an age where we can now return to our innocence and recognize the grand power of an innocent mind in an adult body, where you no longer invest in thoughts that are influenced under the motive of algae, but you find the courage and the strength to be influenced by divinity and truth and peace and purity and wisdom. You will forgive people, you'll be resilient, you'll be thoughtful, intentional, introspective, aware, strong, fearless. Those are the signs of your return to innocence. Do you want that? Would you like to be that? You're not waiting for someone to come and rescue you, are you? That isn't your innocence speaking. To rescue yourself, go inside of the soul, deep within. There's a reservoir of treasures there. Just keep committing to your meditations every single day and allow those pure thoughts of great treasure to keep emerging in your personality, but you've got to serve it every single day. Your return to innocence is always going to be one thought away. I either make my choices in soul consciousness or in my body or limited awareness. Serve yourself now. Your spirit of innocence is your true value. It is your true worth. You might not see it everywhere in the world right now, but it does exist. And there are many who are serving that power now. You become one of those two. Keep increasing your personality of innocence. Nothing will trouble you. Your innocence will be your protection because you've got power and you've got strength now. Let's do a little meditation. Take a deep breath in. a vision of love. Let me take this time, this very sacred time, and sit in the emerged awareness that I am a companion to all human beings. Feel that. I see you. I honor the part you're playing. I thank you for being you, because only you can play your part, and only I can play mine. We stand together on the stage of life. As I greet you, I greet myself. As I see the beauty in you, I see the beauty in me. And when I hear you, you can hear me. To support your part, I play my part the best I can. I will be loyal and committed to the part I've been given, even if it's still not clear and it continues to shift and change. But what I do know is I sit here in a vision of love, that I have good wishes for you, my fellow traveler on the journey. Because each and every one of us come from the same source, God, the Supreme Being. I know we are stronger together than divided. And at this very special moment, I hold this vision of love and allow a greater peace, goodness, and harmony to thrive for you, for me, and for our world. Hi everybody, welcome back. Wonderful meditation today. And nowadays, we've reached a point that we need to inculcate these qualities and vibrations. My beautiful Thor, that beautiful God that's in the studio today with me live, I see him. And he's like, oh man, come on, stop, sister. I'm not, you are that brother. Trust the ones who can see into you and know your destiny. So from now on, This is you. Your innocence must accept that. Your innocence within you will always accept the good that you are. Let's go to our awakened intelligence and see what's happening in the world of AI. So, a spiritual context, return to innocence, typically refers to the journey of reconnecting with one's true, unblemished essence. I love that. Your inner purity is focused. Returning to innocence is about reclaiming a state of inner purity and clarity. Clarity is a huge concept. A childlike wonder. This I love. I don't care how old I get. I want to still be like a child inside, and innocent, not knowing too much of anything out there to be too clever. Even though I do have wisdom, I keep trying to maintain that childlike wonder. Be authentic, living in alignment with one's true self. Good. Free from societal conditioning and external expectations. This is good. This authenticity brings a sense of freedom and peace, as one is no longer bound by false identities. That's beautiful. Forgiveness. Forgiving oneself and others is a crucial step to returning to innocence. Mindfulness and presence, being fully present in the moment without judgment or attachment, will help you to return to your state of innocence. Wow. Compassion, and pretty soon you guys won't need me. AI will give you all your answers. It's not going to be a pretty scene. Compassion and love. Developing a heart full of compassion and love for oneself and others. Definitely connection with the divine. Many spiritual traditions emphasize that returning to innocence involves reconnecting with the divine or higher power. Last, letting go of ego. Shedding the ego and its desires, fears, and illusions is essential in this journey. It means embracing humility, surrender, and trust in the natural flow of life. Beautiful, gorgeous. Love that. Wonderful, wasn't it? So, all the benefits that come with a return to your innocence. Speaking of innocence, let's turn to our Sister Gita effect, who I'm sure will take us to another dimension.
Let us examine a few ways to handle criticism. Firstly, check to see how much truth there is in the criticism. Don't dismiss it lightly or angrily as being foolish. Secondly, admit to any errors. Thirdly, if you cannot see any errors at that point in time, continue to check because those errors could emerge later on. Fourthly, not only find but correct any errors in your ways. Fifthly, thank the person for bringing the matter to your attention. These 5 steps will help reduce or destroy any barriers. Criticisms are good things. They help us to look at ourselves, to check, correct, and improve. But what about the situation where nothing you say or do seems right? Where there is constant criticism, how can one satisfy such a person? We must first be satisfied with ourselves before we can satisfy others. If we do not yet have the power to quickly change the negative attitude of others, we must at least start with ourselves. Change your attitude towards the one who is constantly criticizing. Adopt a more positive approach. Positive thoughts, words, and actions will eventually bring positive results. You will also need to use the virtues of tolerance and patience. Continue acting in this godly manner. At least God will be pleased with you. Om Shanti.
She's not gone, you know. So for our AVC Signal, which is that special messaging from above, today is, the theme is how to uplift those that are defaming you. It isn't being brave or courageous to make souls who are contented content, or to give love to lovable souls, or to cooperate with those who are cooperative. You are called brave when you use your power of cooperation to make uncooperative souls cooperative with you. Do not put aside anyone who is not so strong because you consider them to have defects in their personality, but give souls strength and inspire them to become strong. Enable souls who don't believe in themselves much to take a high jump. Then you'd be called a brave one who uplifts those around you. Do you like that? Is that a good one? Okay, so out there, I hope everyone enjoyed the session today. Hi, Danny. Om Shanti. Ilona, long time. Ilona, how are you? We have to get together and do another America Meditating Retreat. It's been way too long. And I think by now you've heard Sister Gita transitioned, right? So, it was your buddy. Om Shanti Rashmi. Hi, Gigi. Nina, Grace, Nasira, how was it? Tulis Kumari, how was it? Tamil, Dharmistra Ben, Om Shanti, Senthil by Skippy, Anita, all the way in Hyderabad, Joanne, Indu, see you at 10, Lilawati, Om Shanti, my dear sweet sister, Yukti Ben. Wonderful, wonderful to have you all on. And please keep sending me your titles that you would like me to cover. If there's anything that's happening with you or through you, just ask. I'll do my best if I could assist in guidance for you. Take advantage of the live segments where you can really feel that personal connection that gives you a more stronger boost than when it's indirect or impersonal. Break your attachments. How to do it? Practice loving everybody the same. And do not allow your ego to destroy your joy by allowing someone to make you stop loving them. Love souls no matter what. Thank you for joining The Next Normal. Do keep in touch. If you need anything, reach out. Don't hesitate. Feel free to visit the Meditation Museum in Silver Spring, where we have a lot of wonderful activities on Saturdays. It is our aim to open it up more regularly as well as we grow and continue to serve our community. Lots of good wishes and pure feelings. Take care.